Fake it till you make it isn't just a cliche. It's the most powerful success strategy ever discovered. And the people who condemn it are the ones who are threatened by it. Critics say it's dishonest or manipulative, but they're missing the point entirely. When you act as if you're the best, you're not lying. You're accessing potential that's already within you. You're not deceiving others. You're refusing to deceive yourself into thinking you're less capable than you actually are. The people who attack this approach are usually the ones who are comfortable with their limitations and don't want to be reminded that they chose to settle. They'd rather keep everyone operating at the same mediocre level than face the possibility that they could have been doing better all along. Right now, at this very moment, you are having a conversation with yourself. You might not realize it, but there's a voice inside your head that's either building you up or tearing you down. That voice is determining whether you'll succeed or fail, whether you'll rise to greatness or remain stuck where you are. The moment you take control of that voice and make it work for you instead of against you, everything in your life will change. Most people go through life waiting for someone to give them permission to be great. They wait for their boss to recognize their talent. They wait for their family to believe in them. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the ideal circumstances. But here's what successful people know that others don't. Greatness isn't something you wait for, it's something you decide to become. When you act as if you are the best, something remarkable happens in your brain. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. When you consistently tell yourself that you are the best at what you do, when you carry yourself with the confidence of someone who has already achieved success, your brain begins to accept this as reality. It starts looking for evidence to support this belief. And it finds it everywhere. Think about Maria, a sales representative who was struggling to meet her quotas. She was talented, hardworking, and knew her product inside and out, but she approached every client meeting with the assumption that she was just average. She would apologize for taking up their time, speak in tentative language, and present her solutions as if she wasn't quite sure they would work. Her results reflected her mindset. Then something changed. She decided to act as if she was the top salesperson in her company. She walked into meetings with the confidence of someone who had already closed the deal. She spoke with authority, presented solutions with conviction, and carried herself like the expert she truly was. Within 3 months, she became the top performer in her division. The difference wasn't in her skills or her knowledge. The difference was in how she saw herself and how she acted on that vision. When you act as if you are the best, you automatically raise your standards. You start doing things that the best people in your field would do. You start thinking thoughts that champions think. You start making decisions that winners make. But here's where most people get stuck. They think they need to prove themselves first before they can act with confidence. They believe they need to earn the right to feel successful. This is backwards thinking. Success doesn't create confidence. Confidence creates success. You don't wait until you're the best to start acting like the best. You start acting like the best, and that's what makes you the best. Your subconscious mind is like a powerful computer that's always working to make your beliefs come true. If you believe you're average, it will find ways to make you average. If you believe you're the best, it will find ways to make you the best. It will guide you to the right opportunities, help you notice solutions you might have missed, and give you the energy and motivation to do what needs to be done. The tragedy is that most people program their mental computer with limitations. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not talented enough, not experienced enough. They focus on what they lack instead of what they have. They compare themselves to others and always find themselves coming up short. This creates a downward spiral of self-doubt that becomes harder and harder to break. But you have the power to change this pattern right now. You can choose to reprogram your mental computer with thoughts of excellence, capability, and success. You can choose to act as if you are exactly where you want to be, doing exactly what you want to do. Be when you make this shift. People around you will notice. They'll see the change in how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you approach challenges. They'll start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. Opportunities that were invisible before will suddenly become clear. Solutions that seemed impossible will start to emerge. Resources that you didn't know existed will become available to you. This isn't about being arrogant or pretending to be something you're not. This is about recognizing and owning the greatness that's already inside you. Every person has unique talents, abilities, and potential. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't in what they have, it's in how they think about what they have. You already possess everything you need to be successful. You have a brain that's more powerful than any computer ever built. You have the ability to learn, adapt, and grow. You have access to more information and resources than any generation in history. The only thing standing between you and the success you want is the story you're telling yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. Starting today, you can change that story. You can decide that you are the best at what you do. You can act with the confidence of someone who has already achieved everything they want. You can make decisions based on who you're becoming, not who you've been. When you do this consistently, day after day, you'll find that your outer world begins to match your inner world. You'll become the person you've been acting like all along. The power to transform your life is in your hands. The question is, are you ready to use it? Your mind is the most sophisticated computer system ever created. And like any computer, it operates based on the programming it receives. Every thought you think, every word you speak to yourself, every belief you hold about your abilities is programming your mental computer for success or failure. The most successful people in the world understand this fundamental truth, and they've learned to become the programmers of their own mind. Think about how a computer works. It can only perform based on the software that's been installed. If you install weak, outdated software, the computer will perform poorly. If you install powerful, cutting-edge software, the computer will perform at its peak. Your subconscious mind works exactly the same way. It can only deliver results based on the programming you've given it. Most people are running on mental software that was installed years ago, often by other people. Maybe a teacher told you that you weren't good at math, and you've been running that program ever since. Maybe a parent said you weren't athletic, and you've never tried to excel in sports. Maybe a boss criticized your presentation skills, and you've avoided public speaking opportunities. These old programs are still running in the background, limiting your potential and keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself. But here's the incredible truth. You can rewrite this programming at any time. You can install new software that supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. You can choose to think thoughts that empower you instead of thoughts that limit you. You can create a mental environment where excellence is not just possible, but inevitable. Champions have a completely different internal dialogue than average performers. When faced with a challenge, the average person thinks, "This is too hard," or "I'm not sure I can do this," or "What if I fail?" The champion thinks, "This is exactly what I've been training for," or "I was born for moments like this," or "This is my opportunity to show what I'm made of." Notice the difference. It's not that champions don't feel fear or doubt. They feel the same emotions as everyone else. The difference is in how they interpret those emotions and what they choose to focus on. They've programmed their minds to look for possibilities instead of problems, solutions instead of obstacles, opportunities instead of threats. When David started his consulting business, he could have focused on all the reasons why he might fail. He had limited experience, no existing client base, and was competing against established firms with decades of reputation. Instead, he programmed his mind with thoughts of success. He told himself, "I bring fresh perspectives that established firms can't offer. My clients will benefit from my undivided attention and innovative approaches. I'm not limited by old ways of thinking. He acted as if he was already the most sought-after consultant in his field, and within 2 years, he was. The key to reprogramming your mind is consistency. You can't just think positive thoughts once in a while and expect dramatic results. You need to make positive self-programming a daily habit. Every morning, you need to remind yourself of your capabilities, your goals, and your commitment to excellence. Every evening, you need to review your progress and reinforce your success identity. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. This is about choosing to focus on what serves your goals rather than what undermines them. It's about training your mind to automatically look for evidence of your capabilities rather than evidence of your limitations. It's about creating a mental environment where your best self can flourish. The comparison trap is one of the most dangerous programs running in most people's minds. They constantly measure themselves against others and always find themselves lacking. But when you act as if you are the best, you stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to your own potential. You stop worrying about what others are doing and start focusing on what you can do. Your brain is designed to find evidence for whatever you believe. If you believe you're average, it will find proof that you're average. If you believe you're exceptional, it will find proof that you're exceptional. The evidence is always there for both perspectives. The question is, which evidence do you choose to focus on every day? You have thousands of opportunities to reinforce either your success programming or your failure programming. You can choose to focus on your mistakes or your progress. You can choose to see obstacles as roadblocks or as stepping stones. You can choose to interpret setbacks as failures or as learning opportunities. These choices, made consistently over time, determine the trajectory of your entire life. The most powerful programming you can install is the belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. When this belief becomes deeply rooted in your subconscious, it transforms everything. You start taking actions that align with this belief. You start making decisions that support your success. You start becoming the person you've always had the potential to be. Now that you understand how to reprogram your mind for success, it's time to take action. But not just any action. You need to take action from a position of strength, confidence, and unshakable belief in yourself. The actions you take when you believe you're the best are fundamentally different from the actions you take when you doubt yourself. When you act from confidence, you approach every situation with a different energy. You walk into meetings like you own the room. You tackle challenges like you've already solved them before. You speak with authority because you believe in what you're saying. This confidence creates a ripple effect that influences everyone around you. People can sense confidence from across the room. They're naturally drawn to those who carry themselves with certainty and purpose. When you act as if you're the best, others begin to see you that way too. They start giving you opportunities they wouldn't have considered before. They trust your judgment because you trust your own judgment. They follow your lead because you're clearly leading from a place of strength. Take Rebecca, who was passed over for promotion 3 times. She was technically qualified, worked hard, and had good relationships with her colleagues, but she approached every opportunity with hesitation. She would say things like, "I think I might be ready for more responsibility," or "I hope you'll consider me for the next opening." After learning to act from strength, she changed her approach completely. She started presenting solutions instead of problems. She took on leadership roles in projects without being asked. She spoke with conviction about her vision for the department. When the next promotion opportunity came up, she didn't apply for it, she was offered it. The difference wasn't in her skills or her experience. The difference was in how she showed up. She started acting like someone who was already in the position she wanted. And others began to see her that way too. When you take action from a position of strength, you redefine what failure means. Most people avoid taking big actions because they're afraid of failing. But when you act as if you're the best, you understand that failure is just feedback. It's information that helps you adjust your approach and get better results next time. You don't take failure personally because you know it doesn't define you, it refines you. This shift in perspective allows you to take massive action without the paralyzing fear that stops most people. You can make that phone call, start that project, have that difficult conversation, or take that calculated risk, because you know that regardless of the outcome, you'll learn something valuable that moves you closer to your goals. Action taken from confidence also creates momentum. When you approach tasks with the attitude of someone who expects to succeed, you tend to get better results. Those better results reinforce your confidence, which leads to even better actions, which create even better results. This creates an upward spiral of success that builds on itself. Your body language changes when you act from strength. You stand taller, make better eye contact, and speak with more authority. Your voice becomes more resonant and compelling. Your handshake becomes firmer. Your smile becomes more genuine. These physical changes aren't just superficial. They actually influence how you feel and how others perceive you. The key is to start acting from this position of strength right now, even if you don't feel completely confident yet. Remember, you don't need to feel ready to start acting ready. You don't need to be the best to start acting like the best. The acting comes first, and the feeling follows. Every action you take from this position of strength reinforces your new identity. Every time you choose to act with confidence instead of hesitation, you're building the muscle of success. Every time you approach a challenge as if you've already overcome it, you're training your mind to expect victory instead of defeat. This is how you build unstoppable momentum in your life and career. Excellence is not an accident. It's not something that happens to you when you're lucky or when the stars align. Excellence is a deliberate choice that you make every single day through the habits you build and the standards you set for yourself. The difference between good and great isn't talent or circumstances. It's the daily commitment to doing things at the highest level possible. When you act as if you are the best, you automatically raise your standards. You start asking yourself, what would the best person in my field do in this situation? Then you do that. You stop accepting mediocrity from yourself because mediocrity is inconsistent with your new identity. You start paying attention to details that others ignore because you know that excellence lives in the details. Think about professional athletes. They don't just train hard during the season, they maintain their conditioning year-round. They don't just practice when they feel like it, they practice even when they're tired, even when they're not in the mood, even when nobody's watching. They understand that excellence is built through consistency, not intensity. The same principle applies to your career and your life. The best salespeople don't just make calls when they need to hit their quota, they make calls every day as part of their routine. The best leaders don't just communicate well during meetings, they communicate with excellence in every interaction. The best entrepreneurs don't just work hard when they're launching a product, they maintain high standards in everything they do. This commitment to excellence becomes a way of life. It's not something you turn on and off based on the importance of the task. It's your default setting. When you consistently operate at this level, you develop what I call excellence habits, automatic behaviors that ensure you always perform at your best. These habits might include starting each day by reviewing your goals and priorities. They might include ending each day by reflecting on your progress and planning for tomorrow. They might include continuous learning, regular exercise, or maintaining strong relationships. The specific habits don't matter as much as the commitment to having them and following them consistently. Excellence also requires you to build systems that support your success. You can't rely on motivation or willpower alone because these are finite resources. You need to create structures in your life that make it easier to do the right things and harder to do the wrong things. You need to organize your environment, your schedule, and your resources in ways that support your commitment to being the best. Michael understood this principle when he decided to become the top performer in his real estate office. Instead of just working harder, he created systems for success. He established a morning routine that prepared him mentally for the day. He created a follow-up system that ensured no lead was ever forgotten. He built relationships with other professionals who could refer business to him. He tracked his activities and results so he could continuously improve his performance. These systems allowed him to maintain excellence even when he was busy, stressed, or dealing with challenges. The compound effect of these small improvements over time is extraordinary. When you commit to getting just 1% better each day, you don't just improve by 1%, you improve exponentially. Small gains compound into massive results when you're consistent over time. But here's what separates true champions from everyone else. They maintain these standards even when nobody's watching. They don't perform at their best just when their boss is around or when they're trying to impress someone. They perform at their best because that's who they are. They understand that how you do anything is how you do everything. Excellence becomes your reputation, your brand, and your competitive advantage. When people know they can count on you to deliver outstanding results every time, you become irreplaceable. When you fully embrace the mindset that you are the best at what you do, when you consistently act from this position of strength, when you build systems that support excellence, something remarkable happens. You don't just achieve success, you create a breakthrough life that exceeds even your own expectations. You become the person you always knew you could be, and your life becomes a testament to the power of believing in yourself. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but when it does happen, it's unmistakable. You wake up each morning with a sense of purpose and excitement about the day ahead. You approach challenges with confidence instead of fear. You make decisions quickly because you trust your judgment. You speak with authority because you believe in what you're saying. You carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to show it. But with this breakthrough comes responsibility. When you act as if you are the best, you have an obligation to live up to that standard. You become accountable not just for your own success, but for the example you set for others. People start looking to you for leadership, guidance, and inspiration. They want to know how you did it, how you transformed yourself, how you achieve what they're still struggling to achieve. This is both a privilege and a responsibility. Your success becomes a beacon for others who are still finding their way. Every time you maintain your standards under pressure, every time you choose excellence over mediocrity, every time you act with integrity and confidence, you're showing others what's possible. You're proving that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results when they change how they think about themselves and their capabilities. Let me tell you about Jennifer, who understood this principle deeply. She was a middle manager at a technology company, frustrated by the lack of innovation and the bureaucratic culture that seemed to stifle creativity. Instead of complaining about the situation or looking for another job, she decided to act as if she was the chief innovation officer the company needed. She started by changing how she approached her current role. Instead of just managing her team, she began leading them toward a vision of what was possible. She stopped asking for permission to try new approaches and started taking calculated risks based on her judgment. She began speaking about the company's future as if she was responsible for creating it. She volunteered for high visibility projects and approached them with the confidence of someone who expected to succeed. The results were immediate and dramatic. Her team's productivity increased by 40% within 6 months. The projects she led consistently came in under budget and ahead of schedule. Other departments started asking for her input on their initiatives. Senior management began including her in strategic planning sessions. Within 2 years, she was promoted to Vice President of Innovation, a position that was created specifically for her. But Jennifer's transformation didn't stop there. She realized that her success had given her a platform to help others. She started mentoring other managers, sharing the principles that had transformed her career. She began speaking at industry conferences about leadership and innovation. She wrote articles for professional publications about creating a culture of excellence. Her influence extended far beyond her own company and her own industry. This is what happens when you fully embrace the mindset that you are the best. Your success becomes bigger than just your own achievements. You become a force for positive change in your organization, your industry, and your community. You realize that your potential was always there, waiting for you to claim it, waiting for you to act on it, waiting for you to become the person you were meant to be. But here's the most important part of this transformation. You maintain your humility while owning your excellence. You don't become arrogant or dismissive of others. You don't forget where you came from or the people who helped you along the way. Instead, you become more generous with your knowledge, your time, and your resources. You understand that true greatness is measured not just by what you achieve, but by how you help others achieve their own greatness. Living this breakthrough life means accepting that you have gifts that the world needs. You have unique talents, perspectives, and abilities that can make a difference. When you act as if you are the best, you're not just improving your own life, you're fulfilling your obligation to use your gifts to their fullest potential. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be. This is your moment. Right now, as you're reading these words, you have the opportunity to make a decision that will change everything. You can choose to continue living as you have been, accepting limitations and settling for less than you're capable of achieving. Or you can choose to act as if you are the best, starting today, starting right now. The choice is yours, but the time is now. Every day you wait is another day you're not living up to your potential. Every day you hesitate is another day you're depriving the world of what you have to offer. Every day you doubt yourself is another day you're choosing limitation over possibility. You have everything you need to be successful. You have the knowledge, the ability, and the opportunity. The only question is, are you ready to act on it? Are you ready to start thinking like the best? Are you ready to start acting like the best? Are you ready to become the best? Your breakthrough life is waiting for you. It's not someday in the future when conditions are perfect. It's not when you have more experience or more resources or more confidence. It's right now, in this moment. When you decide to stop waiting and start becoming, the person you're meant to be is already inside you. The success you want is already within your reach. The life you dream of is already possible. All you have to do is act as if you are the best and watch as the world responds to the new you. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your breakthrough life begins today. Act as if you are the best because you are,